Introduction. The psychology of money and wealth. Money is more than a medium of exchange or a measure of material success. It is a deeply psychological construct that shapes human behavior, decisions, and aspirations. In The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel delves into the intricate interplay between cognition, emotion, and life experiences that governs how individuals approach money and wealth. Unlike traditional financial literature that emphasizes formulas, charts, and investment strategies, Housel's work focuses on the human element. Why people make the financial choices they do, and why those choices often defy logic or conventional wisdom. At its core, the book argues that financial success is less about mastering complex investment techniques and more about understanding one's own behavior, biases, and relationship with money. From the formative experiences that shape risk tolerance to the emotional impulses that override rational planning, Housel illustrates how psychological factors create vastly different financial outcomes, even among individuals with similar resources. This expanded exploration will unpack these ideas, offering a nuanced understanding of why people approach money the way they do and how to cultivate a healthier, more sustainable financial mindset. Chapter 1. The role of life experiences in shaping financial perspectives. Every individual's relationship with money is shaped by their unique life experiences, particularly those from childhood and early adulthood. Housel argues that these formative moments create a lens through which people view financial decisions, often unconsciously. For example, someone who grew up during the Great Depression might hoard cash and avoid investments, associating markets with loss and instability. Conversely, a person raised during the tech boom of the 1990s might embrace risk, viewing stocks as a path to quick wealth. Consider the story of two siblings raised in the same household, but with different financial outlooks. The older sibling, who witnessed their parents struggle during a recession, becomes a cautious saver, prioritizing job security and emergency funds. The younger sibling, born during a period of economic prosperity, pursues entrepreneurial ventures and high-risk investments. These divergent paths stem not from intelligence or education, but from the distinct economic climates they internalized during their formative years. Housel emphasizes that no one's financial perspective is inherently right or wrong. It is simply a product of their environment. This insight encourages empathy and self-awareness. To align your financial strategy with your goals, reflect on the experiences that shaped your money mindset. Did a childhood of scarcity make you overly conservative? Did a period of abundance foster overconfidence? By understanding these influences, you can adjust your approach to balance caution with opportunity. Beyond life experiences, emotional biases play a significant role in financial decisions. Housel highlights how emotions like fear, greed, and envy often overpower logic, leading to suboptimal choices. For instance, during a stock market crash, fear may prompt investors to sell a loss, locking in their losses rather than waiting for a recovery. Similarly, greed can drive individuals to chase speculative investments, such as cryptocurrency during a bubble, only to suffer when the market corrects. One classic example is the dot-com bubble of the late 1990s. Investors, swept up in the euphoria of skyrocketing tech stocks, poured money into companies with no profits or viable business models. When the bubble burst in 2000, billions in wealth evaporated, illustrating how herd mentality and overconfidence can distort judgment. Housel argues that recognizing these emotional triggers is the first step toward better decision-making. Strategies like setting predefined investment rules, I will not sell during a 10% market drop, or consulting a trusted advisor can help mitigate emotional impulses. Given the variability in life experiences and emotional biases, it's no surprise that financial strategies differ widely. Housel notes that what works for one person may be disastrous for another. A high-risk portfolio might suit a young professional with decades to recover from losses, but it could devastate a retiree reliant on fixed income. Similarly, a frugal saver might thrive on a minimalist budget, while another person finds joy in spending on experiences that enhance their quality of life. This diversity underscores the importance of personalized financial planning. Rather than copying the strategies of others, whether a billionaire investor or a neighbor with a flashy car, focus on your own goals, values, and risk tolerance. Housel's key takeaway is that financial success depends on aligning your strategy with your unique circumstances, not chasing a one-size-fits-all formula. Chapter 2. The Power of Compounding and Long-Term Consistency. One of Housel's most compelling insights is the extraordinary power of compound growth, which can transform modest investments into substantial wealth over time. Compounding occurs when returns on an investment generate additional returns, creating a snowball effect. However, its true potential is only realized over long periods, requiring patience and discipline. Housel illustrates this concept through the investment journey of Warren Buffett, often hailed as the world's greatest investor. Buffett's net worth, estimated at over $100 billion, is not solely a result of his skill in picking stocks. While his average annual return of approximately 22% is impressive, it pales in comparison to hedge fund manager Jim Simons, who achieved a 66% annual return. Yet Buffett's wealth far surpasses Simons because he began investing at age 10 and continued for over 7 decades. This extended time horizon allowed compounding to work its magic, turning small initial investments into a fortune. Housel emphasizes that building wealth is less about chasing the highest possible returns and more about achieving consistent, sustainable growth. High-return strategies often involve speculative investments, such as leveraged trading or volatile assets, that carry significant risks. A single misstep can wipe out years of gains, derailing the compounding process. For example, consider the case of Long-Term Capital Management, LTCM, a hedge fund in the 1990s led by Nobel laureates. LTCM achieved stellar returns through complex arbitrage strategies, but collapsed in 1998 due to excessive leverage and unforeseen market shocks. Investors lost billions, proving that even the most sophisticated strategies can fail without resilience and risk management. In contrast, Housel advocates for a disciplined approach. Invest in diversified, low-cost index funds, save regularly, and avoid market timing. This strategy may not yield headline-grabbing returns, but it minimizes losses and maximizes the likelihood of steady growth. The goal is to stay in the game long enough for compounding to work, rather than risking everything on a single bet. For the average person, harnessing compounding requires 3 key habits. Start early. Even small contributions to a retirement account in your 20s can grow significantly by your 60s. For example, saving $5,000 annually at 7% return from age 25 to 65 yields approximately $1.1 million, compared to $400,000 if you start at age 35. Be consistent. Automate savings and investments to avoid emotional decisions. Regular contributions, even during market downturns, ensure you buy assets at lower prices, enhancing long-term returns. Avoid interruptions. Resist the urge to withdraw funds or chase trends. Each disruption, whether selling during a crash or chasing a hot stock, reduces the time your money has to compound. By prioritizing these habits, anyone can leverage compounding to build wealth, regardless of their income or expertise. Chapter 3. Building Financial Resilience and Adaptability. Housel distinguishes between the skills needed to accumulate wealth and those required to preserve it. Accumulating wealth demands ambition, risk-taking, and optimism, an entrepreneurial mindset willing to seize opportunities. Preserving wealth, however, requires humility, caution, and an appreciation for randomness. Many who excel at the former struggle with the latter, leading to financial ruin. Take the example of lottery winners, who often amass sudden wealth but lose it within years. Studies show that 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt due to extravagant spending, poor investments, or exploitation by others. Their failure to adopt a preservation mindset, marked by frugality and skepticism, undoes their windfall. Housel argues that preserving wealth requires recognizing that luck and external factors play a significant role in financial outcomes, fostering a defensive approach to money management. A key strategy for preserving wealth is maintaining a financial buffer or margin of safety to protect against risks and uncertainties. This buffer includes low or no debt. High debt levels amplify financial fragility, as interest payments and repayment obligations strain cash flow. For example, during the 2008 financial crisis, households with heavy mortgage debt faced foreclosure, while those with minimal debt weathered the storm. Substantial savings. An emergency fund covering 6 to 12 months of expenses provides a cushion for job loss, medical emergencies, or market downturns. Housel likens this to a blackjack card counter's bankroll, which sustains them through losing streaks until the odds turn favorable. Avoiding speculative investments. High-risk bets, such as improving startups or leveraged derivatives, can erode wealth overnight. A diversified portfolio of stable assets reduces exposure to catastrophic losses. Housel's blackjack analogy is particularly illuminating. Skilled card counters don't bet their entire bankroll on a single hand, even with a statistical edge. They wager conservatively to ensure they can endure losses and stay in the game. Similarly, investors should prioritize survival over maximizing returns, maintaining enough liquidity to seize opportunities during market volatility. No financial plan is immune to black swan events, rare, unpredictable occurrences with profound impacts. Housel cites the example of German tanks in World War II, incapacitated by mice chewing through electrical wiring. Despite their advanced engineering, these tanks fell victim to an unforeseen vulnerability, underscoring the fragility of even the best laid plans. In finance, black swan events include market crashes, global pandemics, or personal crises like disability or divorce. To prepare, Housel advocates for diversification. Spread investments across asset classes, stocks, bonds, real estate, and geographies to reduce exposure to any single risk. For instance, during the 2020 COVID-19 crash, diversified portfolios recovered faster than those concentrated in travel or energy stocks. Flexibility. Maintain a versatile financial plan that can adapt to changing circumstances. This might mean holding cash reserves or investing in skills that enhance employability. Avoiding over-reliance. Don't depend on a single income source, investment, or economic trend. A corporate executive who loses their job during a recession may struggle if their wealth is tied to company stock. By building resilience, you can mitigate the impact of the unknown and maintain financial stability through life's inevitable surprises. Chapter 4. The non-material value of money. While money is often associated with material possessions, Housel argues that its true value lies in the freedom, independence, and options it provides. Wealth enables you to control your time, pursue your passions, and live according to your values, which are far more fulfilling than conspicuous consumption. Psychologist Angus Campbell's research supports this view, finding that personal autonomy, control over one's life and choices, is the strongest predictor of happiness, surpassing wealth, status, or education. For example, a high-earning executive with no time for family or hobbies may feel trapped, while a modestly paid artist with flexibility to create feels fulfilled. Money's role is to bridge this gap, granting the ability to say no to undesirable obligations and yes to meaningful pursuits. Housel shares a personal anecdote about his brief stint as an investment banking intern. Despite the job's prestige and pay, the relentless hours and lack of autonomy made it unbearable, prompting him to quit after a month. In contrast, his father, a former ER physician, achieved financial independence through consistent savings, allowing him to retire early and spend his days on fulfilling activities like volunteering and travel. These stories illustrate that money's greatest gift is the power to design a life aligned with your priorities. Housel warns against using money to chase social status, which leads to a treadmill of escalating desires. As income rises, so do expectations for luxury goods, larger homes, and exclusive experiences, perpetuating dissatisfaction. This phenomenon, known as the hedonic treadmill, traps individuals in a cycle of wanting more, regardless of their wealth. Consider the case of a tech entrepreneur who upgrades from a modest car to a Tesla, then a Ferrari, in pursuit of prestige. Each purchase provides fleeting satisfaction, soon replaced by envy of peers with private jets or vacation homes. Housel argues that true contentment comes from focusing on financial independence, not external validation. By prioritizing savings and investments over status symbols, you can escape this cycle and achieve lasting fulfillment. To maximize money's non-material benefits, Housel suggests: define your values. Identify what matters most: time with family, creative pursuits, or community involvement, and allocate resources accordingly. For example, a couple might downsize their home to fund a sabbatical for travel or education. Set boundaries. Use wealth to protect your time and energy. This might mean declining high-paying but stressful jobs or negotiating flexible work hours. Invest in experiences. Spend on activities that enhance well-being, such as learning a new skill, attending a concert, or hosting friends, rather than accumulating possessions. By viewing money as a tool for autonomy, you can create a life that reflects your deepest aspirations, rather than society's definition of success. Chapter 5. Cultivating Gratitude and Humility. Housel emphasizes the psychological and financial benefits of living within your means, regardless of income. This doesn't mean deprivation, but rather finding contentment with what you have, rather than striving to match others' lifestyles. Excessive spending to keep up with peers, whether on designer clothes, exotic vacations, or oversized homes, leads to debt, stress, and a loss of financial freedom. Housel shares his own experience, noting that he and his wife maintained a modest lifestyle even as their income grew. By resisting the urge to upgrade their home or car, they saved a significant portion of their earnings, achieving financial independence without feeling deprived. This approach allowed them to prioritize long-term security over short-term gratification, fostering a sense of peace and control. Social comparison is a powerful driver of financial discontent. Housel warns that measuring your wealth against others is a losing game, as there will always be someone with more. This mindset fuels overspending and undermines gratitude, trapping individuals in a cycle of inadequacy. For example, a middle-class family might feel poor because their neighbors own a luxury SUV, even if their own finances are stable. Meanwhile, the neighbors may be drowning in debt to maintain appearances. Housel argues that true wealth is invisible, residing in savings, investments, and options, not in visible markers like cars or jewelry. By focusing on your own goals and appreciating what you have, you can break free from this destructive cycle. Housel's time as a parking attendant provided a first-hand lesson in the illusion of wealth. He observed that owners of high-end cars were often burdened by debt, their displays of affluence masking financial instability. In contrast, individuals with modest appearances, driving older cars or living in smaller homes, often had substantial savings and investments, granting them genuine security and freedom. This insight challenges the cultural narrative that wealth is synonymous with extravagance. True prosperity lies in the unseen. A robust investment portfolio, a debt-free balance sheet, or the ability to walk away from a toxic job. Housel encourages readers to prioritize these invisible assets, which provide lasting benefits over fleeting status symbols. To cultivate a healthier financial mindset, Housel recommends: practice gratitude. Regularly reflect on what you're thankful for, such as a stable job, supportive relationships, or the ability to cover basic needs. A gratitude journal can reinforce this habit. Set internal benchmarks. Measure success by your own progress, savings rate, debt reduction, or investment growth, rather than external comparisons. Embrace simplicity. Find joy in low-cost activities, like cooking a meal with friends or hiking, which enhance well-being without straining your budget. By nurturing gratitude and humility, you can achieve financial serenity and focus on what truly matters. Conclusion: a holistic approach to money and wealth. The psychology of money offers a profound reframe of how we think about wealth, moving beyond numbers and investments to the human behaviors and emotions that drive financial outcomes. Morgan Housel's insights reveal that financial success hinges on understanding your own psychology, embracing long-term consistency, building resilience, and valuing money for the freedom it provides. By cultivating gratitude and humility, you can escape the traps of comparison and status, creating a life of purpose and contentment. This expanded exploration has delved into the cognitive factors, emotional biases, and practical strategies that shape our financial lives. From the power of compounding to the importance of a financial buffer, these principles are accessible to anyone willing to adopt a disciplined, reflective approach. Ultimately, money is a tool, not for accumulating possessions or impressing others, but for crafting a life aligned with your values and aspirations. By mastering the psychology of money, you can achieve not just wealth, but true financial independence and peace of mind.